World champion 49ers didn't look invincible in Week 3, but it's tough when your opponents consider an encounter with you their own little Super Bowl. The Niners improved to 3-0 and have won 22 of their last 25 regular season games. Joe Montana threw for 398 yards and TD passes to Jerry Rice and Brent Jones in the third quarter as San Fran held off a game Atlanta team 19-13. The Eagles gained their first win of 1990 with a victory in Anaheim. Randall Cunningham tossed 2 TD passes as Philadelphia knocked off the Rams 27-21. The Raiders are a perfect 3-0. At the Coliseum, the Raiders broke open a tight game on a Marcus Allen TD run and a Schrader to Fernandez bomb in the fourth. The Silver and Black beat the Steelers 20-3. At Mile High with the game tied at 31, Seattle's Norm Johnson missed a 39-yard field goal with just seconds remaining in regulation, and then he missed a 44-yarder in overtime. But the Broncos' David Treadwell was right on a 25-yarder 9 minutes into the extra period as Denver downed Seattle 34-31. The New York Giants are 3-0. Otis Anderson ran for 2 scores and moved into 8th on the NFL's all-time rushing list as the Giants beat the Dolphins 20-3 at the Meadowlands. The Saints' TD drought came to an end. Ruben Mays scored 3 second-half touchdowns as New Orleans blasted the Phoenix Cardinals 28-7 at the Superdome. Kevin Butler's 4th field goal of the day, a 52-yarder with 4 seconds left, lifted Chicago to a 1916 triumph over the Vikes at Soldier Field. The Bears are unbeaten at 3-0. They get the unbeaten Raiders next week in L.A. Darrell Green's interception return for a TD was the Skins' only touchdown in their win over Dallas. Warren Moon threw 3 TD passes as Houston won its first. Christian Okoye ran for over 100 yards in a score as KC beat Green Bay at Lambeau. Boomer Esiason had 2 scoring strikes as Cincy improved to 3-0 by walloping New England. Billy Joe Tolliver had 2 TD aerials in the Chargers' win at Cleveland. Vinny Testaverde threw a TD pass in the final 4 minutes to lead Tampa Bay.
Early stages, Eagles in white, a defensive struggle. Nothing going on the ground for the Colts in the first quarter. Jerome Brown buries Albert Bentley. Ron Meyer of the Colts didn't like that. It didn't get much better in the air for the Colts. Jack Trudeau looking downfield for his man, Billy Brooks. He finds a man, but it's number 26, Ben Smith. The rookie rakes in the interception. The big play by Smith set up the Eagles' first score. From 22 yards out, Roger Ruzek gets called on, and Ruzek gives the Eagles a 3-0 lead. But the Colts saddled up and got back in the ballgame. Trudeau on the screenplay would find Bentley in the flat. Bentley would make the most of this play and then some. Hang on, Albert Bentley gets an opening and some blockers. Ben Smith gets pushed down like a toy. 73 yards. 2 plays later, Indianapolis would make it all worthwhile as Trudeau looks and finds Jesse the Jet Hester in the end zone, and the Colts had a 7-3 lead. Second quarter action, Randall Cunningham, who had a brilliant day for the most part, looks for one of his favorite receivers. Number 88, Keith Jackson, keeps his legs moving on the reception and takes it in. A 35-yard scoring play, 10-7 Eagles. The Eagles were not through. Randall again would go to the air, and this time look to the corner of the end zone. Way out there was Arkansas Fred. Fred Barnett makes the grab and gives the Birds a 17-7 advantage. It looked like a blowout, but the Colts drove 90 yards and once again about 2 minutes for the win. You saw it right here on Channel 3. For some post-game.
Who really was a thorn in the Eagles' side. This from Trudeau for 36 yards following an Eagles score, a field goal, and on the very next play, Bentley went in from 26 yards out. That brought them within 3. Right here. There's Bentley, burst off the left. Terry Hogue with a bad missed tackle there at about the 15-yard line. That brought them within 3 points. Eagles got another field goal. Buddy Ryan should be shaking his head because here in the final drive, Trudeau is able to shake off a lot of trouble and pull it out of the fire. They go 90 yards in the final 2 minutes of the game. Here's a wide open Bentley down the right sideline. That was a controversial call that the Colts were unhappy with. Pat Beach, the tight end, told me that's what inspired them here when Brooks got the touchdown with no time left on the clock. And Ron Meyer gets his first win. His team is 1-3. So is the Eagles. So are the Eagles. And you wonder how much difference there is between the Birds and the Colts at this point because the Eagles have lost at home to the Cardinals and the Colts. Buddy Ryan.
The unthinkable. What did you guys do to turn this around?
Well, we knew all along we just had to stop making mistakes in critical, situations. And today we did a lot of that, not making mistakes. We knew we had to make some big plays. We made big plays happen today. And, we were in position to win the game at the end.
You must have been aware of all the talk that your coach had carried on during the week saying we shouldn't even show up to play this game, but we will. These guys are much better than we are. Was he just playing possum, or did that incite you guys to perhaps play a little bit better?
Well, coach is going to say things, and, we have to, I guess, be confident in ourselves, We knew what we had to do. If we would have made the mistakes we've been making in the past, there's no way, just like Coach said, that we could have won this game. We cut out a lot of those mistakes, and, we got the W.
Today, well, let's take a look. Jeff George, first of all, on the sideline, still nursing a stomach injury. Fans a little concerned about Jack Trudeau, and they should have been. Early first quarter, intercepted by the rookie, Ben Smith. Second quarter, Eagles leading 10-7, 3rd and 8. Randall Cunningham finds Keith Byers, a 43-yard reception and also a first down. Cunningham feeling pretty good about what's going on today. Keith Byers with a big game, new career high in receptions, 12 catches for 133 yards. Byers' catch sets up Randall Cunningham with a 21-yard touchdown pass to the rookie, Fred Barnett. It's 17-7 Eagles. Randall, 22 for 34, 274 yards on the day, 2 touchdowns. Eagles in control. Reggie White makes a beeline for Jack Trudeau. His sack forces the fumble. He recovers. 3 sacks for White on the day. Ron Myers a big concern. The sack sets up a field goal. It's 20-10 Eagles. Third quarter, Colts make a game of it. Albert Bentley, 26 yards for the score. It's 20-17 Philadelphia. 4th and 1. Colts go for it. Jack Trudeau goes back, connects with Albert Bentley, but there's a flag on the play, a surprising penalty for the Colts, TJ.
This was a big call. You look to the middle right of the screen, number 23, Anthony Johnson, is called for holding. You have to figure this was a hometown call if you're the other team. But anyway, the Colts were forced to punt the football.
And you have to figure that Ron Myers a wee bit upset. Eagles got a field goal out of it, 23-17 Philly. Fourth quarter, 2nd and 10. Jack Trudeau throws it away, but a penalty on the Colts. Eagles show some indecisiveness. What do we do, buddy? Accept or decline? They did accept. 1:42 left. Colts begin to drive. Trudeau to Bill Brooks for a big first down. Then 1st and 10, 6-yard line, 27 seconds left. Jack Trudeau almost picked off. All right, let's be cool, says Ron Myers. 3rd and 15 on the 21-yard line, under 20 seconds to go. Trudeau to Bill Brooks again. Another key first down, gets out of bounds. Keep hope alive. 2nd and goal, 5 seconds left. Ball and 16. Trudeau hits Brooks in the end zone for a touchdown. It's tied at 23 all. Trudeau 19 for 40, 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Buddy Ryan an extra point away from yet another loss. Dean Piasucci nails the PAT for a 1-point victory. 24-23. The Colts with the upset, the first win of the season for the Colts. The Eagles are also now 1-3, and this loss.
You think he wanted to beat his old team, the Browns, in the worst way? They did play last year, and they tied 10-10. Over 70,000 at Arrowhead, a rarity. But I'll tell you what, with the Nigerian nightmare and that defense, there's reason to show up for the Chiefs. Leroy Horde drops the screen pass thanks to Neil Smith. Dan Salamula recovers. Bud Carson says, wasn't supposed to be this way. Cozart, Eric Metcalf across the middle. He could go all the way, but this one might have probably bobbled. Chris Martin recovers it for the Chiefs. Bernie then under pressure. The weak flip to Kevin Mack. Kevin Porter strips him of the ball. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Mack falls on it. What's going on? Meanwhile, the calm, cool, collected quarterbacking of Steve DeBerg. DeBerg with a great pass fake. Now to Rob Thomas. Wide open, 47-yard touchdown. The Chiefs lead at 7-0. Bergie. Hey, see the key number there? No INTs. Browns punter Brian Wagner. Not a day he wants to write home about. Charles Washington blocks the punt. Chris Martin picks it up. 17-0 Chiefs. They expanded to 24-0 at the half. Meanwhile, Kosar harassed all day long. This is Derek Thomas.
And this is becoming the usual for Kosar. Neil Smith and friends squash him. He is just taking a beating. Greg Meisner smacks Kosar down. And finally, Leonard Griffith hammers him down. And I think that was his last play.
Yeah, they had to bring in Mike Pagel. Only 1 sack today registered against the Browns, but poor Bernie has been getting battered all year long. Third quarter, Albert Lewis. He held out. He says he's one of the best. He does things other than play cornerback. He blocks punts. He does it all his career. Couple already this year. Kevin Ross picks it up. Touchdown, 34-0 the Chiefs. 3 straight games. That man, Albert Lewis, blocked punt. Art Modell is not happy again because it was a 34-0 shellacking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Cleveland Browns.
I'm in Pittsburgh. As the Steelers continue their dismal ways, the Pirates have brought the Steel City alive by grabbing their first National League East title since the Buccos won the World Series in 1979. Cy Young frontrunner Doug Drabick fired a 3-hit complete game shutout at St. Louis for his 22nd win. The two-zip clincher was Pittsburgh's 7th straight victory. The Cubs beat the Mets. Philadelphia's Terry Mulholland 5-hit Montreal. San Diego stopped Cincinnati. The Reds will host Game 1 of the NLCS on Thursday. Houston beat the Braves, and San Francisco dropped the Dodgers. In the American, the Blue Jays banged out 19 hits, including 4 by Fred McGriff, to end 2 days of frustration to the Red Sox. The 10-5 Toronto topping of Boston pulled the Jays to within 1 of the division leaders. The end of an era occurred in Chicago as famed Comiskey Park closed after 80 years of Major League memories. Bobby Thigpen earned his 57th save as the White Sox went out winners in a 2-1 topping of Seattle. The O's and Indians split a pair in Cleveland. Detroit down Minnesota. The Yankees beat the Brewers. Oakland topped Texas, and Bo Jackson's homer beat California. New York continued its dominance of Dallas as the Giants won their 6th straight over the Cowboys in NFL action. Bill Sims fired 3 TD scores to lead the Big Blue to a 31-17 victory. Philadelphia fell to 3 back of the Giants in the NFC East as Jack Trudeau hit Billy Brooks with a 6-yard TD as time ran out, giving Indianapolis a stunning 24-23 win over the Eagles, the Colts' first victory of the season. The Bills bowled their way back from a 21-9 deficit in the 4th quarter to rally by the Broncos. Leonard Smith returned a tipped John Elway pass 39 yards as Buffalo scored 20 points in just over a minute on their way to a 29-28 victory. For the 4th Sunday in a row, Pittsburgh failed again to score an offensive touchdown as Miami mauled the Steelers. Jim Jensen's 31-yard completion to Pharrell Edmonds on a fake punt keyed one of 3 Dolphins scoring drives in the 28-6 Fins win. The Magic was back for the Pack as Don Mikowski rushed for 88 yards and threw for 289 and 2 scores in a 24-21 Green Bay downing of Detroit. The Silver and Black abused the Bears in a matchup of unbeatens. Aaron Wallace grounded Chicago quarterback Jim Harbaugh, giving Greg Townsend an easy 6 as the big man pounced on the loose pigskin in the end zone to lead LA to a 24-10 victory. Steve Christie's 36-yard field goal lifted Tampa Bay by Minnesota in overtime. Marty Schottenheimer gained revenge as Kansas City blew out the Browns. Warren Moon threw for 2 TD scores as Houston stopped San Diego. Brad Baxter scored twice as the Jets pounded the Patriots. And the Redskins rolled over Phoenix on Sunday night.
This set up the winning field goal in the game. Vikes on their own 13, score 20 all. Rich Gannon, play action pass over the middle to Anthony Carter. No. Carter took his eye off it, bobbled it, bounces, and wound up in the hands of Wayne Haddock's key interception. That led to the winning field goal of the game. Let's look at it again. Carter bats it up in the air, and there to grab it is Wayne Haddock. Haddock gets the INT and our POD.
Play of his old. Nah, it's not heaven. It's not Iowa, and it won't even be around next spring.